And it's like, okay, come on. Without me in MMA, what's exciting?
Stop
You know,
it.
like, I don't know.
This is, see, I can get behind some of the stuff, and then you say ridiculous crap like this. What are you talking about?
Be honest. Be honest.
What?
What else is more entertaining?
On Twitter or in the cage?
Entertain.
You haven't fought since June of
trust me,
2019. By the way, on my life right now, just like I'm being real, on my life, you ask me right now the names of the two guys that you fought, I have no idea. If they walked into my house and asked me to fix my
This was the moment I knew that Ariel Helwani ran out of whatever he may have had to give previously. As Harvey Dent once said,
"You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain."
And despite the best efforts of some of the most powerful people in MMA, Ariel never died. So grab some popcorn, find a seat, and let me tell you the story of how the man once dubbed the Howard Cosell of MMA went from a young journalist that would get verbally and sometimes physically bullied by the subjects of his interviews to the grizzled, take-no veteran that we know today.
I was feeling kind of down, and I did an interview with Gina Carano. I don't know if you guys know Gina Carano, but she was
Started off with American Gladiator.
Gladiators, you know, she was a fighter, and we had like an awkward moment where like I held the microphone in front of her too long, and I was like bringing it back and forth, and I was like, I'm not really good at this, am I? I said something like this, and she's like, no, you're good, and she started like laughing, and I was like, wow, you know, she thinks I'm good. I was like, you know what, screw those haters, you know, this is funny. Maybe I am a little weird, but you know, I could get good interviews. I could make them a little more personable and things like that.
This was Ariel Helwani before becoming the most recognizable face in MMA journalism. 3 years after graduating from Syracuse University, he decided to start a blog called jerrypark.com, named after the original home for his favorite baseball team, the Montreal Expos. He gave himself a deadline of 6 months to turn a profit. If he failed, he would go back to a desk job. He began to email every fighter he could, and to his surprise, a lot were willing to talk.
Ariel Helwani for jerrypark.com, being joined by El Guapo Bas Rutten, by heavyweight star Brett the Grim Rogers, being joined by the New York badass himself, Phil Baroni, MMA heavyweight star Alistair Overeem, by the babyface assassin Josh Barnett, the victorious Nick Diaz. And Nick, first off, congratulations on a very impressive victory.
Due to being denied media credentials to UFC events, Ariel was initially unable to cover the bigger shows. It took sports writer Kevin Iole going to UFC president Dana White directly to finally get Ariel in.
Now all of a sudden, all right, I made it to the big league, so to speak, league singular, because there's just like one dominant brand, to your point, and you know, the head of it all couldn't be nicer to me. Like, was so accessible, so gracious, so nice, would give me as much time, good or bad. And
Dana
it was just
and Ariel
a great
started out on great terms, and for a young journalist, that was a huge help. He suddenly found himself in previously inaccessible circles, and his charismatic approach made his interviews stand out in the sea of generic Q&A sessions that seemed to be the norm at the time.
Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas, Nevada, being joined by Forrest Griffin, who kind of got me off my game there. It is a very big nose for us, I know, I'm very aware. But it is my finishing maneuver. In high school, I used to just go poke people's eyes out. It was awesome. You're looking great here on the cover.
Jeez, it's embarrassing. Don't show that. That's my manager who does that I've done it. I didn't know it was coming out, and now I'm like, oh my God.
We always knew that you're a ladies' man, but this is going to take you to a whole other level. See, right?
Friend, take a look at this.
Look at that.
You see, I didn't get like this to do one job.
Can I touch? Can I rub?
Of course.
Wow, that is...
It's gonna bring you luck. You can play long
it's like the Buddha.
Not everyone was a fan though, and some fighters took offense to his direct questions. Nick Diaz famously told him,
"Where I come from, you know, people like that get slapped."
And his interviews with Quentin Rampage Jackson would often toe the line between humorous ribbing and genuine aggression.
Man, with that one combo, he looked just like you, homie. That's what got me through that fight, man, because my hand was hurting. I still wanted to knock his face off because he looked just like you, homie. He had the same messed up facial hair. I thought I saw some crabs. And all in. You got crabs in your facial hair. Hell wrong with you? Ariel, that you've hated on me before on your show.
Ariel Helwani? Me?
That's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
I can go get them right now, and they don't.
Please, do you want to squash this right now?
Because you want to.
No, because I have the utmost respect.
Those fighting words.
No, I mean like squash the beat between us.
Oh, I thought you were talking about fighting.
No, absolutely not.
I'm from Memphis. Those fighting words.
And eventually, Dana White began to take offense too. The previously friendly banter between the two turned into Dana snapping on Ariel publicly when he felt like he was being too intrusive with his questions.
Was it because of
Ariel? He's here.
Okay,
He's here. He's here now.
All right.
You got any questions about the fight?
Obviously, it was a big story.
Yeah,
we
he's here.
Spoke about it.
He's here now.
It's a part of the story.
I understand. What's part of what story?
Of this fight. A lot of people are interested in watching this press conference to see if Nick was going to show up because he wasn't there yesterday. So we would.
He's here today, and I guarantee you he'll be there tomorrow at the weigh-ins, and I guarantee you he will be there Saturday.
No one's doubting that, but just wanted to get the reason why.
You want to antagonize him. You want to aggravate him and get him pissed off.
That absolutely not.
It's totally the truth.
Okay, and Dana, just one for you. When you say that you're going to take care of Yoel Romero, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? What does that mean?
That's between me and Yoel Romero.
Well, there is.
Thanks for asking. That's between us.
No, I know, but there is the precedent with Carlos Condit and GSP where.
Is there? There's really not a precedent. There's different scenarios and different situations.
But
don't worry about what Yoel Romero's going to make. Me and Yoel will take care of that.
All right, fair enough. Thank you.
Ariel also began to work for Fox, which had a contract with the UFC at the time, alongside his standard job of being a reporter for MMAfighting.com, and would sometimes bring up topics like free agency. He was attempting to play both sides, be a company man as well as an independent reporter, and that allegedly irritated Dana White. Eventually, Ariel parted ways with Fox, and the rumored reason was that the UFC was not happy with the way he was covering the sport. To his credit, Ariel took the public abuse in stride, usually turning what was happening into a joke, or just simply ignoring it. But that was all peanuts. The real problems began at UFC 199. The event was to feature a surprise announcement of Brock Lesnar making a one-fight comeback for UFC 200, and Ariel broke the news on Twitter first.
So that news comes out, and I was told, for the record, that they were going to break it on the broadcast. I did not include that in my story because I didn't really think it was necessary to include where it was going to be broken. I knew it was going to be done on ESPN, the opponent announcement, but I'm not trying to steal anyone's shine. If I have news and sit on it, I'm not doing my job. Like, sometimes I call up managers and fighters and they tell me all kinds of stuff, and then I say to them, is this on the record? And like, no, it's not on the record. I'm like, well, what was the point of that? You think I just want to get this information for myself? Like, just because we're friends?
It's like with this whole Ariel Helwani thing. It's more about, what can I sneak and get out and steal from the fans? The excitement, enjoyment of the fans seeing it when it comes out, instead of actually doing some real journalism. So, yeah.
Used to be because.
Well, it's not even about controlling the narrative. There's so much more to that thing than was represented. I know he threw a big pity party for himself and all that shit, but there was a lot more to it. A lot more people were involved in that thing, and it almost blew up a huge relationship that I wouldn't even get into publicly. Okay. That's why we just came out with a statement. I don't know. It was dirty. He knows it was dirty, and he threw a big pity party for himself, crying on camera and shit.
It's hard to be told that your career is over when you don't think you did anything wrong.
Ironically, the man to jumpstart Ariel's career by giving him credentials was also the one to try to ruin it by taking them away. Luckily for Ariel, he was already established enough by this time for the fans, media, and even fighters to rally around his cause and get him his credentials back within a day. His relationship with Dana White would forever remain broken, however, and outside of public jabs and press conferences, the two haven't spoken since UFC 199. And this became a turning point for Ariel as a reporter. No longer constrained by the shackles of being a company man, he began to take an edgier approach to interviews and held his tongue a lot less than he did previously.
That was a huge mistake. Yes. Don't give me that puzzled puppy dog look. You know what I'm talking about. He was outclassed. He was dominated. Did you sign a new deal?
Signed a new deal, yes. I'm confident it's going to be a nice paycheck.
Most ever?
Probably in my mixed martial arts career, yeah.
Really? Can you give us the range? We knew how much you made for Mayweather.
I'm estimating a good 80 million.
80? Come on.
Should be a good one.
Wow. What did you make for Khabib?
50 of it.
Wow. I heard you and Jeff Nowitzki say, and Andy Foster said it as well, that you are 100% sure that this isn't as a result of a new ingestion. The question I don't seem to find the answer to is, how do you know that?
Because that's what the experts are saying. The experts are telling us That's what they do.
Who are the
Thank you.
Who are the experts?
Ask Nowitzki. Nowitzki's the expert on that.
Okay, he's also said that there's 12 to 14 other cases of this happening.
Yeah, you got to talk to Nowitzki. If you want to talk drugs, talk to Nowitzki.
The seeds for Ariel's heel turn were actively being planted, but just like all villains, he needed an event, a catalyst if you will, to really push him over the edge. And that came courtesy of Brendan Schaub.
Oh hey, so I see Ariel's there.
Yeah.
How's that going over?
And I'm here.
No, but how's that?
How do you think he got the job?
And that little line about Ariel's Showtime gig, combined with the smirk afterwards that he must have just found so annoying staring at his computer screen, well, that was the final straw. That was it. The nice and friendly Ariel Helwani had officially exited the building, and in his place we got a fiend, a villain, known only as Heelvani.
It's not true. It's just that's all I'm going to say. I'm not trying to start. He texted me this morning. He apologized. And I'm only saying this because if it was a personal thing, I would keep it to myself. But apologizing privately for something you said publicly doesn't fly. You got to do it where you did it the first time. And that's damaging to me. Don't lie. That's it. Just say, it didn't work out. Like, why do you have to lie about it? To make yourself feel better? I don't know why. What would inspire someone to lie in that moment? I don't get it. If I'm being honest, I've been sitting back for the past 18 months and I've seen a lot of people take shots at Heelvani. And if I'm being honest, I was told time and again not to punch back. Well, guess what? I'm punching back. And I'm not sitting back and letting anyone talk shit about me anymore because I'm tired of it. And especially, look, like I said yesterday, you can talk smack about me being a bad journalist, a bad personality, a bad reporter, a bad host, a bad this, a bad that. But don't lie about me anymore. I'm not going to take the lies. So yesterday I spoke about an individual named Brendan Schaub who was lying constantly about me. And it's kind of funny. I put out a little bat signal on Twitter the night before that some people on Reddit, shout out to those people, knew what I was talking about. And all of a sudden I get a text. I get an apology. And I said to Brendan, who I've never had an issue with, despite all the shots, I said, cool, if you're gonna apologize to me privately, I hope you're also gonna do so publicly, because that's where this started. You smeared my name publicly and lied about me publicly and said I was a bad teammate and a bad colleague publicly. And you said that you got the job first from Showtime, and I only got it because you turned it down publicly. So I want you to go on your public little show, and I want you to apologize to me. And so once he does, the beef will be squashed. Until he does.
Unfortunately for Brandon, the Reddit community for his podcast absolutely hates his guts, and Ariel gained a ton of support from it. His verbal assault on Brandon became one of the most upvoted posts in the subreddit's history, and eventually Schaub had to concede.
If you're unfamiliar with the situation, him and I have been going back and forth on our shows. He took to social media, which is fine, that's his right. When I made those off-putting comments about him on the fight campaign, which set this whole thing off, and I apologize for that to him. I text him and we got this whole text thread. I didn't realize how bad I hurt, to be honest, I didn't realize how bad I hurt him.
And so Heelvani pulled back the attack and smugly took the W, putting his villainous nature on hold.
The quote-unquote apology on the Below the Belt program, the critically acclaimed Below the Belt program. I would love to sit here and say, I accept your apology. The problem is, I didn't hear an apology. I actually did not hear an apology. I didn't hear, hey man, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Now, am I going to be an a-hole and sit here and demand that? No. We're moving on.
Here we are, officially in the Heelvani era. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really digging the change. Ariel's been pushed around for years for doing nothing more than asking questions that most fans wanted to know the answers to. And while he hasn't been perfect, because nobody ever is, he is, in my opinion, the best MMA journalist that we have by a very wide margin. And it's about time that he started throwing back some of the napalm that's been coming his way for years. And I'm proud to be the first channel to officially bring you the origin story of Heelvani. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.